Howdy folks, Haywire Willy here. Sitting here contemplating what the heck is wrong with society today, I came to the conclusion that there just ain't enough old dirt roads anymore. Now I know that sounds damn silly, but it ain't. You see, too many old roads have either disappeared or been paved, and that there's just a damn shame because I reckon that there ain't a problem in the world today that couldn't have been solved down one of them old dirt roads. Yep, many a parent-child conversation took place, many a secret was shared by friends, and many a romance was born, all traveling along them dusty old trails. How do I know? Well, I grew up on dirt roads. I walked them, I rode bikes on them, ran along them, and explored their ditches. And you know what? Them old dirt roads gave us a sense of time and place, reminding us of just how far we'd come and just how far we still had to go. They gave us character, true grit, and like gnarled old tree trunks, they tied us to our roots. You see, dirt roads slowed things down and clarified our priorities. Traveling down those dusty vagabonds allowed us the time to pay attention to the world around us, a world where everyone waved and said how do or was considered to be snobbish, also known as city rude. At the end of dirt roads, we did chores and learned from a very young age that bad words tasted like soap, bad attitudes made our butts break out in painful welts, and talking back made our seats dusty. Those aged byways led us to hear frogs and red-winged blackbirds from reed-bordered lakes and ponds, and watch wind form marvelous giants in the clouds, and filled our noses with the sweet summer scents of lilacs and fresh-mown hay. Kids got exercise and learned how to get along as they walked and talked to and from school, and people of all ages had diaries, pen pals, and folks sat happily waving from porches, smiling contentedly as meadowlarks sang from fence post perches. Dirt roads led us to fishing and swimming holes, hay lofts, and lovers' leaps. They took us to interstellar observatories called pastures and BYOB bars called gravel pits where the very first tailgate parties came to be. Now, don't get me wrong, folks who lived at the end of dirt roads learn right on early on in life that it can sometimes be a real bumpy ride, but it's the ruts and puddles that we traverse that taught us to avoid life's pitfalls and to appreciate when the road ahead had itself some long, straight, smooth stretches. We learned that life could jar our teeth, test our patience, and sometimes toss us around. And if we got to going too fast, why, then dusty old roads would remind us in one heck of a hurry just how quickly things could spin out of control. So them old dirt roads taught us both caution and patience, and they filled us with hope because we knew that at the end of them was a place called home, where love and family, laughter, fun, happy, hard-working kin, rambunctious pets, and a true sense of belonging were. Those old winding homeward ways led us to treadless tires swinging from trees, grasshoppers racing us across lawn, showering out in the rain, and searching for pots of gold at the end of rainbows. They took us through fields of grain glowing under a summer sun, past barns full of chores and pies cooling in windows and tables laden with fresh and wholesome foods. They took us to places where outhouse doors creaked. Folks knew what the hell a doily was. The smell of baking bread made mouths water, and gossip was restricted to kitchen tables, social groups, and telephone party lines. They took us to where hard feelings were dealt with through hard work, where community dances were held every Saturday night to allow folks to blow off some steam, and church bells rang every Sunday morning to allow them same folks to make amends. Them old dirt roads were excellent and real inexpensive crime deterrents too, because very few criminals were willing to walk long dusty miles to rob and pillage, only to be welcomed by inquisitive barefoot kids, barking dogs, and the double barrels of a concerned mother's shotgun. Why, the only time that we ever locked our cars at the end of them old dirt roads was in August. And that's because if we didn't, some darn thoughtful neighbor would sneak over and stuff them full with overflowing baskets of zucchini, tomatoes, and corn. Drive-by shootings back then were quick photographs taken when traveling. Freeways were charitable acts. Kids took guns to school for show and tell, not to send their schoolmates and teachers to hell, and gun control was all about aiming, not ownership. Major pileups were only found on football fields and behind barns. Letters were the primary social media, and marriages were all arranged by parents, not digital algorithms. There was no such thing as tailgating on old dirt roads because folks learned in a real hurry to keep their distance, otherwise they'd choke on dust and get their darn windshields smashed out by flying rocks. All along them old dirt roads, neighbors not only knew each other, they helped each other. Kids played with fireflies and went fishing. Laundry smelled like sunshine and alfalfa, and whittling away the hours resulted in some right fine carvings. And them rutted old roads were way more environmentally friendly than the concrete and bitumen highways and byways of today. You see, we didn't just hop in our cars and dash to the store for a quart of milk or a pound of butter. No, sir, no, ma'am. We went out to the barn. Chicken, rabbits, deer, antelope, moose, ducks, and pheasants were the only fast foods we ever ate. Shopping trips were all-day family affairs. Television was still the art of telling a vision, and entertainment outlets were musical instruments, card tables, and saddles. We could literally see our mail coming from a mile away and had to walk about the same darn distance to fetch it from a mailbox along the road. We churned butter, made ice cream, and played hide and seek until the sun sank and a symphony of distant voices from unseen porches called us all home. Yep, I reckon that our values were a whole heap better when our roads were a whole heap worse. Folks were healthier and friendlier. The pace of life was a lot slower. People had much more respect for the world they lived on, and there was far more barn raising and hell raising because folks thanked, not cursed, their creator. So if the world's leaders is looking for a solution to most of their woes, well, I reckon that they'd find the answer is just returning to a way of life when dirty was a state of body, not a state of mind, and when mud was played with, not slung. Because the answer ain't more police, more violence, and more concrete jungles. The answer ain't more laws, restrictions, and mechanizations. The answer ain't more experts, analysts, or consultants. The answer is returning to facial recognition being a term used for seeing someone we know, leaving clouds in the sky, and putting an end to learning institutions' names being followed by .com. The answer is ending the rush and restoring the hush, relieving the human crush, using something that we've used since the Romans roamed and the Egyptians built the pyramids, them wonderful, marvelous, dusty old modes of transportations lovingly known as old dirt roads. Now y'all come back now, you hear?